So, a couple of months ago, I was working with a group who were running a great event that they needed to run as part of who they were. However, every time they ran this monthly event that they all knew they should be running, there were complaints from everybody attending. Why can't we solve this problem? They were asking. Well, actually, what emerged as we sat together to figure it out was that this wasn't a problem to be resolved, but actually it was a tension that needed to be navigated. And in today's video, we're going to have a look at what the difference is between a problem that needs to be resolved and a tension that needs to be navigated, and how we step into that in our leadership. Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Focus, where we take approximately 5 minutes to take a creative, honest, and hopeful look at a focus area to help you grow in life and leadership. So, as we work together, what did we learn about the difference between problems and tensions? Well, problems usually have a best solution, a right way, and a thing that can just be sorted out to get it finished and moved on from. It might be the tech issue on your call that keeps cropping up that you're like, do you know what? We just need to figure out how to sort this out. Or it might be that there are different groups that can't quite see what the point of something is. And yet, actually, when you explain, hey, this is why, this is what's going on, great. You're all on the same page. This is definitely the unified best way to move forward. However, sometimes we think we've resolved a problem, but actually it keeps opening back up again. It doesn't seem to go away. And that can be a sign that what we have is a tension that needs to be navigated and managed. Two different things, or maybe more, that need to be held together rather than a one right way or a one right path that can simply be chosen and moved on from. Oftentimes, the first place to start when we have a tension is to figure it out and acknowledge it in the room. So, with the group that I was working with their continued event that created problems and complaints, half the group wanted a spontaneous, creative, family feeling type event where they could just show up without any thinking or planning ahead of time, and what would happen would happen. The other group really wanted to have an event where their teams would come together from different places, and it would be a formal event. It would be a level up from their day to day. It would be something special to come to, and where they'd have a kind of tradition about it. They sort of wanted a clarity about what's happening, how does this work, and even to dress up and see this as a special occasion, not just a kind of casual show up as you are type thing. This was causing a tension because the values beneath were different. Now, when the organization found out by speaking to the different groups what the values were underneath, they realized that both values were things that they held as dear as the organization. They wanted both to be fostered. It wasn't a right or wrong. They liked both. And so they chose instead, having acknowledged this attention, not a problem, to communicate what the values were that each group was experiencing, which helped them start to see eye to eye a bit more. And then they created an event where sometimes it would be more traditional and formal, and it would be a level up kind of event where people could dress up. And sometimes it would be, hey, this is a spontaneous family kind of thing. And they helped each group to understand why each one was important to who they were as an organization. So, understanding the navigation of that tension grew them in their identity as an organization and helped them to create the unity that they were looking for. So, acknowledging it is key. Understanding the values beneath. Some will be shared, and some will be different, and helping each group to understand one another in that. But also, finally, navigating attention takes time, and it also requires character. It means that you need to understand it will feel uncomfortable. Oftentimes, as leaders, we will side more with one group or the other, but we need to be able to hold that gap and sit in what is uncomfortable to understand both sides, speak out those values, and and speak out and cast vision for why some of the uncomfortableness of tension is actually worth it, and why the fruit that's going to be produced in our character individually, but also collectively as an organization, is worth pushing for. We all want tensions to be problems so we can just solve them and they go away. But actually, sometimes the fruit of a well-navigated tension can be far better than a quickly solved problem, and it's worth pursuing. So, where are you seeing problems that actually are tensions? Where are you trying to navigate what you think is a tension that maybe just needs to be solved and moved on from? What stood out for you? Put in the comments below the key insight from this video for your life and leadership today. And keep living courageously. Hi, I'm Ruth, life and leadership coach with Living Courageously, where we are all about equipping you to live a courageous life with authenticity, creativity, and hope. And we do this especially through coaching and training on fruitfully leading yourself, preparing for and navigating into your next adventure, creating and loving your diverse teams, and distilling wisdom from what your emotions are telling you. So, who's journeying with you as you step into a more creative and courageous life? Get in touch if you'd like to explore coaching or other partnership potential.